Well, hello there everybody, and welcome back to An Ecologist Plays, the channel where we are learning more about nature by playing games. We are back in the Hunter, Call of the Wild, and we are continuing on where we left off last time, which was to actually go and harvest a springbuck and pass the harvest check. So this is going to be our challenge for this morning. Find a springbuck, bring it down in preferably one shot. Now, the weapons I do have at my disposal, I have been practicing a bit in this game, and to say a bit is perhaps an understatement. I've gotten a little bit better. I also have some better guns now, and there is our first springbuck. That one is it's a minor. So you can see we now have a little bit more detail when we're actually spotting animals than we had last time. And that's because I am actually level 16 now. So I've been playing this game quite a bit, especially with Nick, with my wife. We have been thoroughly enjoying this game. So it doesn't matter if it's a good springbuck, we just need to bring down a springbuck, and we are just going to slowly but surely head in that direction and bring it down. Now, springbuck, of course, are social animals, so where there's one, there is almost certainly going to be another one. And the whole idea of being in a group is, of course, to have safety in numbers. Now, in larger animals like buffalo, for example, being in a group will allow you to actually protect yourself against the predator by, in some cases, like with buffalo, turning the tables on the predator and possibly killing them. But in other animals, like with springbuck, which really would not be capable of taking out a lion, the idea of safety in numbers is simply to dilute the odds of you being the one that gets eaten. So preferably what you're trying to do is have someone else get eaten rather than you. And the more there are around you, the lower the chance that you are going to be the one that gets eaten. We're just going to crouch down in a moment and then just slowly make our way closer to the to the springbuck that was right over this ridge. Okay, so there is a springbuck mating call. Interesting that it's the female that's actually giving the mating call there. Generally, males will fight with one another, compete with one another for access to the females in the area. And then, of course, the females will go, well, that is a very, very nice male. I think I'm going to have his babies, or try to have his babies. And yeah, that's generally how springbuck would work. They are what we call a polygynous species, meaning one male will have many females. Poly meaning many, gynous referring to female. So, one male having many females. And let's just scan again. The taller grass, of course, here, good and bad. Good in that it is giving us a bit of cover. Bad in that it is giving us reduced visibility. So whenever you are seeing on documentaries the lions crouching down in the tall grass and stalking their prey, yeah, they really are depending on things like smell and hearing to know where on earth they are supposed to go. Because we are currently not seeing any springbuck. Now, currently my loadout consists of the Ranger 243, which we had initially, with still the free bullets over here. So the soft point bullets, that's not good penetration, so there's not a good chance of getting the left lung and the right lung, for example, if I get a nice shot. But it is nice expansion when it hits, and it's free. And currently I don't have a lot of money because, and I'll show you that a little bit later, I did buy something as well. Now, I don't see the female springbuck, nor do I see any springbuck for that matter. So what I'm going to do is actually bring out my caller. So that caller there is supposed to simulate the sound, ooh, that's the good one, of a male or female springbuck actually giving some kind of call. Okay, so that's 130 meters away. We could actually, no. Okay, they are still calm. I stood up there, that's not what I wanted to do. Okay, so they are 130 meters away. My rifle will zero up to 150 meters. And there we go, lining up. Hopefully I got a nice fight. Yeah, there we go, it's down. We got it. As I was saying, with the call here, with the... they're not going to come now, but this wheezing sound is a bit of a communication, a bit of a sound that the animals make to communicate with one another. Of course, we as humans, we can speak, and I think we sometimes take that for granted. Animals can't form these complex sentences, and they have to get their point across to other members of their species in as simplest a way as possible. And they will very often have certain sounds indicating that, listen, where are you guys? Listen, there's danger over here. Oh goodness me, I'm really in danger. Those types of things. And this was a Nice little shot, vital organ hit. Don't even have to track it because it's lying right there. Hopefully this is going to be a very, very nice one. Let's have a look. It's a gold trophy. Not bad at all. The flesh and right lung. There we go. Yeah, it was quite good. I wanted to aim a little bit lower, but I was running out of breath there. But as I've mentioned earlier, the springbuck here with a lighter belly to reflect sunlight, so to keep the animal cool, they really do live in hotter environments. You'll also see this white belly in things like the Dama gazelle and all kinds of gazelle living in more arid, hotter regions.
Premium work.
Thank you.
This Springbok is fully intact. Nothing spared, nothing wasted. Look out, Springbok City. A new lion is in town. Your work here is still getting started, but you're already making a difference. This animal will feed locals who might otherwise rely on poachers for their meat. Only one thing left for you to do, lion. Cull the herd. You can choose which animals you target, but take down at least 5 of them. That will start applying the pressure we need to move them out of the savannah. Now it's time for you to bring Nyami Nyami home to the river. Take him to the site marked in your codex and bury him.
Okay, so I need to go down to the river over there.
The
Yeah.
best way to fight the poachers is to beat them to the marketplace and hunt responsibly to feed the hungry people. There are several volunteer hunters who help us do that work. They may not all be at your level, but they do good work. They're organized by Maria Bueni. She is a lioness. Maria's husband was a ranger who worked with me. He was killed by poachers. When you meet her, don't bring that up to her. It's too painful to discuss. Just know that's why Maria's so dedicated to her work, and why you can't let her down when she needs your help. She'll have work available whenever you find time.
So yeah, in a lot of the game reserves, especially in areas where there are communities next to the reserves, poaching can be quite a big problem, unfortunately. And in many cases, the rangers that are there to protect the animals are also taken out during or by the poachers, either when they encounter the poachers and start shooting at them, or when the poachers know who they are and then they are at risk. They or their families are at risk. So yeah, poaching is of course a real serious threat, and in a lot of instances you can't really blame the poachers for poaching, for example, animals to feed their families. In other cases, like with rhino poaching, of course, that's driven by syndicates which really are after money, which is, not as excusable as hunting just so your family has something to eat. Are we just going to go down to the river, and in the process, I think we need to look here, harvest 5 springbuck within Vusha, as it is pronounced in the game here. Now, if this were in an area where Xhosa is the main African language, that would have been pronounced Vuka. That X is a sound, like you would with a horse, call a horse, for example, that sound. But in this case, it's not Xhosa, so it is Vusha. It seems it is pronounced. Okay, we're going to continue along our way here and then try and see if we can get some springbuck. Now there is a gemsbuck to that side. It is not downwind of us, so we can actually try and stalk it. Now the rifle we've been using previously, the 243, this one, is really not the best for taking down gemsbuck. I don't know how I took one down previously. Anyway, what I do have for hunting gemsbuck is this one, the 308. And when I was a kid, we did go kudu hunting, greater kudu in South Africa. I always went with my dad when he went out kudu hunting once a year. He shot 1 kudu and that was it. And he shot with the .303, but the farmer on whose land we were hunting, he would shoot with the 308. And there is a gemsbuck, at least one, right over there. We're going to try and get a little bit closer. How far is that one? About 150 meters. Technically, one should be able to bring him down with the 308. And he's down. Okay. Unexpected. But yeah, the 308 here, really a much stronger caliber rifle. Great for hunting things like Gemsbuck and the blue wildebeest in the map here. Whereas the .243 with which you spawn, this little guy over here, great for hunting things like Springbuck. And if you wanted to hunt the side-striped jackals, then those as well. I still have not shot a single side-striped jackal in this game. So here we go. This is our little Gemsbuck. Of course, brilliant, beautiful creatures with those long horns, really for self-defense. And I was thinking about that after or while editing the previous video, what I didn't mention. Okay, it's a silver trophy, that's alright. But I forgot to mention, with a lot of animals, like with Gemsbuck here, both the males and the females will have these horns. In things like deer, only the males have the horns. So it seems that there must then be some kind of selective pressure for the males to actually develop the horns rather than both sexes. Which means that it is, in the case of deer, it is for display purposes, with males trying to attract females. In the Gemsbuck's case, it is to defend themselves. And that's because it takes a lot of resources to actually produce these horns and to keep them growing. So in the Gemsbuck's case, it is worth it for both the male and female to actually invest the energy and the resources to make these horns, because they're going to be able to use it for self-defense. Wow, that's kind of an alarm call. In the case of deer, however, only the males invest the energy and the resources to produce it, because for them, it's just a case of being selected by a female. With deer, the females are using speed to run away from predators. Males will be producing these big antlers to try and get a female. And the idea is that, look at me, I have so much energy that I've invested in these horns, which make it more difficult for me to escape from predators, yet I am still alive. I clearly am getting enough food. I'm a fit individual. There goes a Gemsbuck. Well, now it's just hiding. It's like, hey, I'm behind the bush. You can't see me. There we go, finally coming out again. Anyway, the males then, they use all the energy to produce these horns, and if they are then still able to survive, surely it must mean that they are a fit individual, and that's why females show this preference for males with big horns, which then of course results in those genes for big horns being passed on, because it is also to some extent a genetics thing. So it's based on genetics, and it is based on the resources that an individual will get and be able to get and spend on growing horns. Oh, there are some blue wildebeest right over there. Some of them are still calm. That golden wildebeest, which I wanted to take out, that one is unfortunately not there. How far away are you guys? About 75 meters. That's actually perfect for this one. Just zero it to that. And that could be hard. Just listen to that gallop. Oh man, the sound of hoofbeats on the ground. It really is quite an interesting sound. I'll never forget, years ago I was involved in game capture in a national park here in South Africa, where we were catching black wildebeest, so not blue wildebeest. These are typical savanna species, so areas where you've got grasses and trees. But the black wildebeest is a typical grassland specialist. It occurs in the open, like completely open grasslands, and we were in a mountainous terrain, and we were hiding behind shrubs. And that's a nice little silver. That's alright, I'm going to accept her. Get almost 1,000 cash for her. But we were hiding behind small little shrubs, like this little plant over here. This almost looks like Leucocidia sericea, the ohot, the old wood, it means. So we were like hiding like this. And then we had a net boma. So it's about 2.5 meters tall, strong net that was put in an area around us. And then the helicopter would chase the antelope or the wildebeest from that side, and they would run straight past us. And these animals are heavy. If they collide with you, you are not going to make it. And we were all huddled behind small shrubs like these. This one here, and that one over there. And we were just trying not to be trampled. But you could hear the hoofbeats approaching, and it is quite an intimidating sound, I can tell you that. But it is a memory I will never forget. It was not a fun memory at that point in time, the game capture. It is extremely hard work, and yeah, I was dragged through the field for about 20 or 30 meters, so about 100 feet through the field, while still holding onto the tail of a wildebeest as it was running away with us. But that may be a story for a different time. For now, we're just going to make our way down to the river to go and bury Nyami. We're just crawling, or we just crouched in the tall grass here because there are some blue wildebeest up ahead. Not the springbok we're looking for, but it is at least something that we can potentially get, which will be some funds for us and some meat for the local villagers. And we're just going to, again, use the little snort over here to get their attention. A lot of animals are quite inquisitive, and they hear something like this where there's another individual of us that's snorting. Maybe we should go look what this is all about. Wildebeest generally relatively good eyesight. Zebras have got better. We were all very surprised to find out that there are no zebras on the map here. Generally you'll find zebras and wildebeest in mixed herds. So there's one. And there's another one. Oh, that one's a nice one. Just going to go for that one. And that should... Hopefully that was a vital organ hit. That is indeed a vital organ hit. So now we just follow it. There it is already. It's a very, very short distance that it ran. Really didn't get far. The nice thing now with me is that I have this ability here that allows me to look at the top. It's the skill that I now have. I've leveled up enough. I've got a few skill points. It tells me what the health of the animal actually is. So there we go. 0 to 25 and voila. Here it is. A gold trophy. Ah, always nice. So with the blue wildebeest, we have the horns going to the side here. With females, it's very, very close. The sexual dimorphism is quite low, so meaning that the males and females generally have the same type of shape. They're not vastly different. And this is a nice gold trophy. It's nice big horns. But the females will have slightly smaller horns, I think. As far as I recall, very, very similar. The black wildebeest will not have the horns going to the side here. Instead, the horns will come to the front. Kind of like, imagine, like built for charging things in front of it. Although it doesn't necessarily go and do that. But it has horns pointing forward. We're just going to accept this. And there we go, another level up, which takes us to level 17. And that gives us a chance to quickly talk about skills and perks. So I've got 1 perk point to spend. Initially, at least, up until a certain level, I can't recall which level, you'll get 1 perk point and 1 skill point alternating per level. So I now got a perk point. When I level up again, I'll get a skill point, and then I can put it into all these types of things. But I'm currently spending more in the ambusher skills. I, however, have a perk point to spend, not a skill point. Let's just go and have a look here. In terms of perks, I've mostly been building around here with the rifle, because that is what I'm using most, and this zeroing is extremely useful. It just enables me to switch between 3 different distances to make sure that the crosshairs align perfectly. Really an amazing skill, amazing perk to have, and we have that one on us. I also thoroughly enjoy the bow hunting aspect, so I'm going to be going for recycling or recycle now, so that there is a chance that I can actually get arrows and bolts from whatever I have shot. But this 308 rifle, which is in the modern rifles pack, this is just my favorite mid-level rifle to use. I am thoroughly enjoying it. For bigger animals like buffalo, you can take it down with this. You can ask Nick, my wife. She has taken down a buffalo with a 308, not in real life, but in the game here. But we prefer the 338 when hunting things like that, more dangerous game. There is a lesser kudu somewhere to this side. Now, this I think is something we can actually now use the antler rattler on. I'm not sure why they put lesser kudu in the game here, however, and not the greater kudu. This map is supposed to be somewhere in southeastern Africa or southwestern Africa, somewhere in southern Africa, which is south of the Zambezi River. The lesser kudu only occurs north of that area. The lesser kudu does not occur in South Africa. It's also smaller, there it is, I think. That's a female. I think that was a female. Okay, yeah, that was a female. So the lesser kudu is overall a much darker color than the greater kudu. Greater kudu lighter in color, much bigger, would probably go to about here, the shoulder, rather than down here. So about 1.5 times, I think, the size. What's the weight of this one? 61 kilograms. Yeah, no, it's greater kudu is much larger than that. Also, the greater kudu won't have these little crescent moon shapes in the front here. The horns would also be generally much bigger for the greater kudu, of course, but nonetheless, the lesser kudu, a beautiful animal. I would love to still see one in the wild. Haven't been to the areas where they occur, so obviously no chance that I've seen one yet. But these lines here, whenever you see lines like these on an animal, or spots like those, or spots like on a leopard, or anything like that, that is camouflage. It is a way of breaking up the outline of the animal. It's a way of mimicking dappled shade or sunlight glistening through the branches onto a log, something along those lines. It makes it more difficult to see that this is a kudu shape, because suddenly it's a kudu shape but with a whole bunch of lines running along it. So if you just look quickly, it may be difficult to realize that you actually are looking at a kudu, for example, or whatever animal. So lighter stripes or spots or anything along those lines, generally a good way for an animal to break up the outline. And you'll find this in all kinds of animals that depend on camouflage for their survival. Frogs and toads, those types of things, they also have that. A lot of animals like skinks with stripes also will be using that breaking up of their outline as a defense mechanism. Now we're getting closer to the river, and we're also heading to the denser vegetation, which really is not the best place to be, because that's a perfect place for buffalo to hang out. They really do love thickets. So in real life, I would probably stay out of the dense thickets rather than running straight through it as we are doing now, especially as we are getting close to the river. Buffalo love hanging around close to water sources, close to ponds and rivers and those types of things. That is where you very often will have them hanging around. And in the game here, they generally more towards the outside of this reserve. Basically, there where the big rivers are and the surrounding vegetation. That's where you'll find your buffalo in this game. There is one thing I am going to do now, and that is probably the most stupid thing I can do. But, you know, when doing stupid things, that is generally the most fun. We've got another 400 meters to go. We are going to go there by using the rooi gevaar, which translates to the red danger. And there I am in my African Ranger outfit. $12,000 in the game here for that. Absolutely worth it. Okay, everybody, here we go. We're testing the all part of the all-terrain vehicle. And we immediately run into a tree. Okay, that went better than expected. But we're not out of the woods yet. In fact, we're only heading into the woods now. I know last time I was going to try and stay out of the tall grass with the ATV so we don't disturb the ground nesting birds. Yeah, I'm afraid I forgot I said that.
That's the spot. Very yummy there.
Okay.
The ancestors thank you. I can tell this is out of your comfort zone. My traditions are silly to you, I know. You kids always laughed at me because I went to the Sangoma when I was sick. But the Sangoma's healing always worked. Always. So, who knows? Maybe now we'll get this river rushing one more time.
I'm not sure whether we'll have, like, the river rushing. This is quite a lot of water already.
Ready for more exploring? Or time for you to go south? Zonga. Take Lopfu Gorge. So named because ages ago a giant elephant, Lofu, dragged his snout along the ground, carving that gorge into the earth. I don't really believe that one, but I find it entertaining. The path through the gorge is marked in your codex. Along the way, I'll need you to take a photo of a special site. Have your camera ready.
Yeah, we need to go... Okay, so that's the special site we need to go visit. But what I have found here is something that was plopped down just now. Buffalo droppings. So now it says very fresh, but it was actually dropped. Here it is. There it is. Go away, go away, go away. No. Oh, I don't want to die. Stay away from me. I'm going to... die. Almost die. I'm just going to drive away. That, over there, is what we in South Africa call a daga boy. That, daga refers to mud. That is a bull buffalo that hangs around watercourses along the mud. Very often covered with thick mud. Of course, we are now basically just taunting him by doing donuts in front of him. Oh my word. You can see he is a massive creature, using his horns to try and intimidate us as well. But I do not have my buffalo hunting rifle with me, so we are going to just stay away. Just keep an eye out. See, that's a danger with buffalo. They'll be in the thickets, they'll be in the reed beds, they'll be in those dense thickets there and there. You don't see them until they come charging out at you. And that makes them one of the most dangerous animals in the African bush. And that is why they are also part of the big... Oh, there's another one! Part of the big five. So not only are they extremely dangerous, they come in groups. As if one buffalo wasn't bad enough, we now have two running around here. Now, normally in the game here, they do tend to flee, but those are obviously some big bulls, and the bulls very often are a little bit more aggressive than the cows. Right, so that was a near-death experience for us. And I don't know why my ATV is deciding to pull donuts through the veld over here, through the thick bush. Let's just head for a little bit more open ground. There we go. Okay, now at least we can see if something approaches us. Oh my word. Let's switch this off. Heart is racing at the moment. But I think that is actually where we are going to call it a day, everyone. So thank you very much for joining me on this little adventure in the African bush. We had a bit of excitement here towards the end. First driving off cliffs for fun, and then, you know, being chased by these guys. Oh my word, I'm just going to keep on driving. Just keep driving, just keep driving, just keep driving, driving. What do? We drive. And hopefully not crash into everything we see. We just need to make it out of the bush. Are we out of the woods? Are we out of the woods yet? Are we out of the woods? No, we're not. Okay, sometime soon we'll be out in the open. No? Okay. So if you enjoyed the video, everyone, please do remember to give it a like. Comment below what you would like to see me talk about next. And then also, if you haven't subscribed yet, please do so to help the channel grow. And to help with the algorithm to get more people to actually learn about nature as we play games. And until next time, everybody, stay safe. We'll see you all soon. Bye.